Hi, welcome to Talking Comics. This is your host, Tavik17. I'm here to talk about Avengers Vs X-Men issues 3 through 5, and then I'm going to get to issue the Avengers Vs the X-Men limited series 2 of 6. Now, to get started, I want to get out with the bad stuff first, and then I want to go on with the great stuff. Now, well, for one, at the end of issue 3, Hope's like, "Let's make a deal, Wolverine," and Wolverine's like, "I'm willing to listen." Issue 4, you kind of find out the deal is, if I can control the Phoenix Force, then great, human mutants and all of them saved. But if I can't control the Phoenix Force, Wolverine, please kill me. Now, in issue 5, you kind of get to see that, but not until the middle, because in number 4, everyone's like, "It's here! The Phoenix Force, it's here!" And then everyone turns their head. The Moon, I turned my head, the X-Men, the Avengers, everybody just turns their head to see the Phoenix Force, and then the next panel, you see the Phoenix Force, and it's just like one giant flame of fire. Now, in this one, it just continues with everybody fighting, and then finally, in the middle of this all, the Phoenix Force arrives, and Hope's like, I really can't control it, Logan. Kill me. And Logan's like, "Kid, I'll try." And he, stabs her. He's about to stab her, and then Cyclops fucking, whoom, uses his I-beam and shoots Logan, which was awesome, because then they started fighting, and the fight between Cyclops and Wolverine will always be my favorite. Now, that was my problem. I didn't like that. My other problem with this issue was, Hope at one point in here says, "The Phoenix Force wasn't meant for me." And that's when you're like, oh, no shit. You turn your page all the way to the front, and you're like, that's who it was meant for. It was meant for that motherfucker. And then you turn back, and it's like, Iron Man's like, oh, hell no. And he, flies up, shoots the beam. The Phoenix Force goes into all the other X-Men. And then they're like, but we were not meant for us. We were meant to go in her. So they take Hope, and they fly away. That's how this ends. Now, the ending itself was really cool, but I was just kind of disappointed that, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to go in Captain America. Oh, awesome, because that would be one of the most powerful things ever. Well, that's just not going to happen. So, to put it simply, the story is really good. I like it. It's kind of, blindsiding me every time I read it. So, the story itself, it's going to get a 4 out of 5. The only reason why it's not getting that other extra star or whatever rating system this crappy thing is because the story has its flaws. For one, Hope is another redhead, and for some reason, that makes the Phoenix want her. I mean, her powers aren't that cool. I mean, all she can do is take other people's powers. I've seen it before. It's kind of like Rogue. So, if, the only reason she's special is because she's the first mutant after Wanda said, no more mutants. I guess that's what makes her special. Now, my problem isn't with that issue as much as I have a big problem with this issue. One is this fight. That's the first fight. Now, when you're going to put someone like Gambit up against Captain America, you can only assume which one's going to win. You can only guess that Captain America is going to beat him. What I did like, though, was the fight itself. The fight where Captain America throws his shield at Gambit. Gambit catches the shield, infuses it with whatever his little beam thing is, and throws it back at Captain America, and it blows up. The shield itself doesn't blow up, but, radiation, the purple stuff around it does. Now, the fight was pretty cool because he's like, oh, I'm just going to ignore him and talk to Tony Stark on my little earcom the whole time. And Gambit's like, oh, you shouldn't, not listen to me while I'm fighting you. And Captain America's like, oh, well, I'm not going to talk to you. So, eventually, he gets his attention. And finally, after beating the shit out of Captain America for the whole comic, Captain America goes, enough, you have my attention. And he walks up, literally, he just walks up, punches him in the face. The fight ends 1-on-1 punch. I mean, for Christ's sake, Gambit blows the dude up, and he's like, I'm so strong. Now, that fight was cool and all, but this fight was way better. I did not know who was actually going to win this one. I can only assume that Captain America was, of course, going to beat him, since Captain America is, the main star of this. So, but you never know who's going to win between Colossus, Juggernaut, and fucking Spider-Man. But Spider-Man really does turn out to be funny in this. And that's why I like this one a lot, because the writer did really good with making Spider-Man really smart and funny. And, it's kind of like I've never seen Spider-Man fight Juggernaut before, so it was a really cool thing to see, like, let me tell you how this fight goes. I jump behind you, squirt webs in your face, you get maddened because you can't see, and then I kick you, and then you fall into a puddle of webs. Like, that's just freaking awesome. So, that was the bad stuff, and also the good, and a little bit of the laughter. So, as for the good stuff, the story itself is really good. It's, shocking me, blindsiding me, of course, like I said. And and I'm guessing it's only going to get better from here. I mean, we're not even halfway done, because issue 6 marks the halfway point. So, I'm going to review issues 6 through 9 when I get it. And thank you for watching Talking Comics with TabX17. Of course, that'd be me, because I am your host. I'll see you next time. And please come back for Amazing Spider-Man Sinister 6 Ends of the World review.